G'day there guys, it's Connor here again from Marquee Industries and we are back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into the stories. Alrighty folks, we're on Am I Wrong? This one was written by user Puzzle-Headed Rip and it's titled, My boyfriend shattered my phone because a homeless guy gave me a flower. My birthday was a couple of days ago and I haven't spoken to him since. I'm heartbroken about this. I was walking home with my boyfriend and we passed a group of homeless people. One of them said, "Here you go miss, since you're the first woman who walked by," and gave me a dead flower. It was around 10 PM and my birthday was at midnight, so it kinda felt special to me. I said thank you so much and kept walking. My boyfriend didn't say anything, so I didn't think anything was wrong. I took my phone to take a video of the flower and tell my friend what just happened, and he tried taking my phone. I was laughing and asked what he's doing and didn't answer. He just kept walking next to me. He looked a little annoyed, but I still wanted to get a video with the flower, so I pulled my phone out again. This time, he hit my hand really hard and made me drop my phone on the concrete. My phone screen is completely broken. Luckily, it's the screen protector, but still, it's all shattered. I screamed, "Why did you do that?" And he took my flower and threw it on the road. He said that's what I get for embarrassing him like that. I was tearing up because 1, he broke my phone, 2, he threw my flower away, and 3, I couldn't understand what I did wrong. He made me delete the video with the flower in front of him and we walked in silence the rest of the time. At home, I blew up at him. I was crying, screaming, asking him why he did that. Literally an hour before my birthday, he said, "How would you feel if a girl just came up to me in front of you to give me a flower?" I said, "If it were the same homeless woman that you see almost every day when you walk in the neighborhood, I wouldn't mind. We have walked by this specific man plenty of times." He called me a liar, then said I was manipulative to try to invalidate his feelings when I was blatantly disrespecting him in front of other men. I don't understand how it's disrespectful. I wasn't even going to keep the damn thing. It was a dead flower. I just thought it was cool because that had never happened to me, especially 2 hours before my birthday. He said a bunch of stuff, basically that I was an attention-seeking tramp. I was sobbing. It was already my birthday and I felt like crap. We went to sleep without talking, and the next morning he was gone. I had a brunch with my friends, so I had my mind distracted for a couple of hours, but it was still in the back of my mind. I still don't know who's 100% in the wrong here. Maybe I shouldn't have accepted the flower, but I honestly saw it as an innocent thing. He still won't talk to me, even if siblings wished me a happy birthday, but he hasn't yet. I don't know what to do. I don't want to lose my boyfriend over a flower. Whoa, red flag, red flag, red flag. I mean, alarm bells going off here everywhere. I mean, he borderline assaulted her when he hit the phone out of her hand. And how insecure must you be to have that way of thinking? It's just crazy. Let's go to the comments. OP, trust us. A man that insecure and quick to violence, slapping your arm to break your phone screen, calling you names, attention tramp, will escalate this behavior. He's not sorry. He tried to turn it around on you. You did nothing wrong. One day it's over a flower, and before you know it, you can't talk to your friends, family. He'll be looking through your phone, although I suspect he already does that. He will control you. He will suck up the self-esteem, respect, and dignity you have for yourself. Get out now. My ex-boyfriend got mad at me for letting a guy in front of me at a concert to take a photo of the band. After he got a couple of shots, he said thanks and gave me a high five. I didn't hear the end of it for 3 days. On the 3rd day, he threw me into a desk. He had never once called me names, got mad about a random guy just talking to me like a person, never yelled at me, never hit me, until he did. I know your sad face comment is being downvoted, but I get it. You're sad to read these comments and realize just how wrong he was. You're probably looking back at other things he's done and how he's made you feel. And it's okay to be sad. It's okay to still feel that love. You have to grieve the relationship and move on. Lean on your friends for support. Tell them what happened. What would you tell one of your friends or anyone to do in that situation? You would probably tell them the same thing we're telling you. He struck you and he forced you. He is an abuser. It would not matter even if you had outright cheated on him and flaunted it. All he has the right to do is leave. This man will abuse you. It will get worse. He will make you miserable. Break it off now, completely, irrevocably. Opie responds to these comments telling her that he's abusive. Okay, this is honestly scaring me. I just cannot imagine him doing those things to me, but I honestly am taking what you're saying in consideration, and I'm going to think about this entire relationship. I know it's ridiculous to me, especially because we've walked past this guy so many times before, and the flower was literally half dead, lol. I'm definitely considering breaking up with him. I just wanted someone to tell me where I was wrong. Thank you so much. I know, this honestly hurt me more than my phone being broken. He had never called me names, ever. He also said I was a tramp, just like my other little friends. Maybe he was just in the heat of the moment because he was really angry, but I don't know, I can't stop thinking about that. One comment says, why are 2 children out alone at night? Opie says, we're 22. And another comment says, yes, you do want to lose your boyfriend over a flower. There will not be a better excuse for you to separate yourself from this insecure maniac. Yeah, I tend to agree. Okay folks, on to an update. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for all the help. I broke up with him. To be honest, I still love him and I'm trying to cut all communication because I know that if he contacts me again, I'll most likely go back. I literally made a list of all the reasons why he sucks and I try to read it every time I want to text him, lol. Here's the update. He surprised me with my favourite flowers and a letter. He wished me happy birthday and apologized for his reaction. He said he was being immature and it won't happen again. He said we should work on communicating with each other's boundaries better. He also apologized for ghosting me for a few days. He said he just needed some time to cool down. Not going to lie, I just wanted my boyfriend back, so I accepted the apology under the condition that he will never do anything like that again. He swore in his life that he'll never make me cry ever again. I genuinely saw a shift in his personality. He was even better than when I first fell for him. Like one time, we were cuddling and talking about our relationship. He literally started crying while professing his love to me. He says that he knows that sometimes he gets frustrated over little things, but it's because he loves me so much and he's terrified to lose me. He shared so many things about his past. He had never opened up to me before, so it really felt like the relationship grew stronger. We went to the beach as a little birthday celebration for me with his friends. We were 6 in total and I was the only girl. 2 other girls were supposed to come too, but they had work. I didn't know that until I asked one of the guys and he told me. Long story short, he got mad at me for wearing a bikini. He was like, what the hell do I look like having my girl walk around half naked like a hoe in front of everyone? I reminded him that we're at the beach and a lot of people wear bikinis at the beach. He said that it's different because I'm the only girl here with 5 guys and it makes me look bad. I said I didn't care and went back to everyone. After a little while, he pulled me to the side again. He called me names, said that one of his friends obviously wants to bang me, but I'm too freaking dumb to see it. He said he overheard him. I don't think this is true, but I don't know. He was very angry, but also he had been drinking, so it could explain his irrationalness. I started crying, then went home because I didn't want people to see me like that. He was being so weird. I don't know why he was being so aggressive all of a sudden. Like before the flower incident, he had never used that kind of language with me, especially in public. He came over that night to talk about what happened. I was so hurt. I honestly thought we had grown closer. We both explained our side of the situation. I told him I wasn't trying to get anyone's attention by wearing a bikini, and I can kind of understand his point of view because I was a little uncomfortable too being the only girl there. He said I could have put my clothes back on, but I had to stay in a bikini. He said I looked like, quote, a hoe waiting to get banged, when I was laying on my stomach tanning. I can't really remember what he said after that. I was just so hurt. We were going in circles, so we just decided to go to bed. He then tried to initiate sex, which just ticked me off. I said no every time. I heard him say something about being an annoying ass B-word under his breath, and that was the last straw. I kicked him out and broke up with him. It wasn't easy. He was crying and screaming the whole time. He even punched a wall in my room. I was terrified. I never thought he could do that. We had never fought like that before. He finally left when I dialed 911 and threatened to call. I don't know why I still love him so much. I understand his reactions, knowing his past and what he's been through, and it's a lot, trust me. I know it's not an excuse, but it's still an explanation, right? Anyways, it's over now. Half of my stuff is still at his house. I don't even want to think about it right now. He's blocked. I'm really trying to villainize him in my mind so I can move on, but it's hard when all I can think of is the amazing moments we shared, like how he was crying in my arms, telling me he loves me more than life, the day he asked me to be his girlfriend, or the day he gave me a promise ring. Maybe I did go wrong somewhere. It's just so crazy to think that all of this could have been avoided if I hadn't accepted the flower. Also, I'm very aware that I'm dumb for thinking that he could change so quick. I just wanted my boyfriend back. Thank you again, everyone, for the advice. And some final comments. You are wrong in the kind of person he is. He is an abusive piece of garbage. He'll manipulate you and say whatever he feels he needs to say to get you to stay, but in reality, he does not care about you. No, his past isn't an explanation nor an excuse either. He's just a bad person. Opie says, I don't know why he started acting like that. I can assure you he wasn't like this before it started 2 weeks ago. I don't know why. Another comment says, you did the right thing and I'm proud of you. He is violent and abusive and you simply cannot afford to go back. All those special moments, the crying in your arms, the declarations of love, that was him convincing not only you, but himself. Why? Because he wants your forgiveness, sure, but what he really wants is to confuse you and convince you both he's not capable of abuse. But that's a lie, and now you see the lie. Yeah, I mean, who's really surprised? The cycle of his behaviour was destined to repeat itself. This comment says, quote, he called me a liar, then said I was manipulative to try to invalidate his feelings when I was blatantly disrespecting him in front of other men. People who weaponize therapy speak like this are the worst. Just such manipulative little craps. You don't get to claim someone is invalidating your feelings when they have a reasonable reaction to something crappy you do. Not all feelings are valid. If I tell you I really feel like a unicorn is telling me to jump off a cliff, please feel free to invalidate the hell out of that feeling. It's irrational, just like this a-hole feeling threatened by a literal dead flower was irrational. This is why I'm so happy that the internet has all of the easily available resources where people can see that they're not going through some unique situation, that abusive a-holes are typically the same all over. It helps so much to let them know that this is just how abusers act. Before the internet made all of those things so easy to share, the same basic ideas existed and were explained through pamphlets and books, but the internet makes it so much easier to get the information across and let them see through the bullcrap much quicker. I'm very sorry she had to go through this, but I'm glad she was able to get help from other posters and see what he truly is. If this was like 1980, she'd still be with him 100%. Heck, she might still end up back with him, as that's what abusers do, they rope you back in. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Yeah, fingers crossed for that. Alright folks, that's the end of that story. We're going to leave that one there. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Either way, let's move on to another one. Okay, we're popping over to relationship advice. This one was written by user CyberDriver, and it's titled, My girlfriend is ticked that I won't show her my ex's nudes before deleting them and is now questioning our relationship. We'll cut straight to the point. My current girlfriend is ticked at me because I deleted old nudes from an ex-girlfriend from 14 years ago without letting her see them. While cleaning out my closet, I recently found my old iPod Touch. This thing is from 2010 and I absolutely loved it. Stumbling upon it after all these years is like finding a time capsule, so we excitedly hooked it up to see what 2010 to 2013 me was up to. We were having a good time laughing at the tall tees, mall-bought and extremely fake-ass bling, oh God help me, and fitted caps I wore back then. While going through the pictures together, we stumbled across some butt-nakeds from an old relationship I forgot were on there. Trying not to make a big deal of it, I said, "Oh crap," and turned the iPod away from her and deleted the pictures, which I thought she would understand. I was wrong. First, she playfully asked to see them, and I told her no. She knows that's effed up. Things quickly went very south from there. She started accusing me of hiding things, saying she just wanted to see what she looked like and that it was no big deal, and eventually started crying. I told her the pictures are from 14 frickin' years ago, and if I showed my ex's nudes to her, what's to stop her from thinking I wouldn't show her nudes to someone else if they beed and moaned enough? Now she's accusing me of calling her a B-word, belittling her, and already thinking of the next woman. Things are seriously snowballing, and I've never seen this weirdly jealous and nosy side of her before. We've been together for about 6 months, but have been on again off again friends with benefits for about 2 years. She knows I do not have the patience for silly childish crap like this, so I kicked her out of my apartment. She calls me an a-hole and says she's going to have a think about our relationship. I told her if she wanted to break up over some nonsense like this, then we shouldn't have gotten together in the first place. I know I was right for not showing her the pictures, and the tears were a manipulation tactic, but I'm absolutely stumped as to why she would try so hard to see them. I figured maybe this sub could provide some insight into this utter madness. Yeah, that's weird. You'd think what Opie did was the completely correct thing to do. But guess not. I guess sometimes you never really know. Opie first gives more info on their relationship. I've known her for 2.5 years. We met in school and we've never had any problems whatsoever. She's one of the few people I've ever instantly clicked with. We started hanging out, and shortly after meeting, things got physical. She explained that she was only interested in a casual thing, and I agreed. It worked out well. I backed off when she started seeing somebody, and she did the same when I got involved with someone with no hard feelings. Everything was great. About 6 months ago, we decided to give a relationship a chance. We've literally never fought and had a great time around each other, so why not, you know? What I described in this post is the first I've ever seen of this behavior from her. So I don't know if it's a mental health thing or just an aspect of a personality that emerges when she has a committed partner. I've no clue. So I'm trying to figure out if this is a one-off, or if something's going on with her I don't know about, and do I cut this person out of my life? And if the relationship ends, that might not even be my choice anymore. So that's where the uncertainty for me lies. One comment says, "You'd think she'd have more respect for you for deleting the nudes and not sharing them. And deleting them in front of her so she knows they're gone." Opie says, "We were having a good time too, mostly laughing at me dressing like a clown in shiny costume jewelry, as was the style at the time. This was like a time capsule, ancient and legendary memes, hide your wife, hide your kids, Rickrolling, Afro Ninja and Cyber Police, convos with friends long gone, or grown up with families now. I was really enjoying the nostalgia, and then it all went sideways for no reason. But hey, that's life, huh? Lol." Nah, she's totally in the wrong. New girlfriend doesn't get to see old girlfriend's nudes. That's a violation of your old girlfriend's privacy, and only because your new girlfriend wants to compare herself. So it's only been 6 short months, and she's showing her hand. What the F? That's not normal. You did the right thing. Sounds to me your girlfriend has a serious green-eyed monster and most likely wants to compare the girl to her if that's the type of person she is. But those photos were sent to you with trust. You didn't belittle her, you put boundaries in, and that says more about you than her. In my opinion, you did the right thing. Opie replies, "Thanks, I appreciate you saying that. I think I'm going to go ahead and just let this one go. In the 2 years I've known her, I've never seen anything that would indicate she was this, I don't know, insecure. As mentioned, our relationship was casual then, so maybe a switch gets flipped when she has a committed partner. Either way, it's not going to be my problem." Alrighty folks, on to an update. After not talking for a couple of days, she finally texted me asking why I haven't called or texted her. I told her the truth. I've been mad at her and trying to decide if I wanted to continue the relationship. How the fact that we were having a good time one minute and then the next was pure madness reminded me of all the crap I went through with my mother as a teen, and how I don't want to deal with that ever again. I had a very emotionally abusive mum that would constantly cause fights over literally nothing. Think DVDs, staple guns, tape measures, etc., and then kick me out of the house to show me whose goddamn house this is. So I have an extremely low tolerance for people starting up and coming at me over petty nonsense. To top it all off, my mum has since passed away, so that's another layer of things. But I've never tried to make my issues anyone else's problem. I've told her about my mother before, so she knew about all of this. She told me she didn't mean to make me feel that way, but my flat-out refusal to show her the pictures, combined with my turning away from her when I was deleting the nudes, made her feel like I was hiding things and rejecting her. I immediately called BS, because I told her we were going to keep looking through the iPod. I was just deleting my ex's nudes, and she damn well knows it. In the 2+ years we've known each other, I've never given her any reason whatsoever to doubt me or think I'm a liar. I eventually got tired of texting, so I tried to call her and she rejected the call, telling me she's not ready to speak yet. I told her I'm done texting, so call me when she's ready to talk, and I quit replying. She starts sending me angrier and angrier messages when I wouldn't reply. F you, this is controlling. What the F's wrong with texting? Go F your red-headed B. My ex in the pictures was a redhead and has been out of my life for over a decade. She then sends a picture of an action figure that's been broken apart. I immediately knew who it was. Prison Mike. It was frickin' Prison Mike. He was innocent in all of this. You see, much like myself and a lot of you, she loves The Office. So for her birthday this year, I hunted down and 3D printed Prison Mike, 1:12 scale head and little mug, combined it with a Two-Face figure body and spent a week painting. I then printed out a backdrop of the conference room as well as pictures of the main cast, except Andy, I hate him, and made a diorama with standees of them in it for the Prison Mike figure. All combined, the thing took about 2 weeks to make, but it was fun. When I gave it to her, she went nuts, hugging me, kissing me, calling me sweet, saying it was one of the most thoughtful things someone's ever given her. Now she's taken a hammer to it. I'm done. I don't know what the hell her problem is, and like Phil Collins, I don't care anymore. Property destruction, whether hers or mine for any reason, especially revenge, is automatically game over for me. I'm shocked, annoyed, and confused, but still, thank you for all your interest and responses, and please pour one out for Prison Mike. He was truly da belle of the ball. Damn, yeah, pour one out for my homie Prison Mike. Damn, that's tragic. Let's read some final comments. Prison Mike gave his life to save yours. I'm sorry to see how things panned out, but I'm glad you're safely away from this person. If I may ask, given all her unhinged behaviour, do you think she would have used you showing the nudes if you had against you later? Opie says, oh hell yeah, that's almost always 100% a trap at worst and a test at best, and they're both massive and unacceptable red flags. I'm so proud of you, OP. So many of us continue to walk into the patterns that our abusive parents established, sometimes for decades, sometimes for life, without realizing why we continue to be with an a-hole who makes us feel like our abusive parent did. You realized and you took steps to break it off. Good for you. Oh, I was wondering what happened with this. As a woman who was given my then boyfriend nudes, it would have been an appalling thing to do, to show relationship nudes to anyone for any reason, crazy insecure girlfriend included. Thank you for holding this boundary. I'm glad she showed you who she is. Prison Mike took the bullet for you. Carry on, OP. Hope you meet someone wonderful. OP says, in my first post, quite a few women thanked me for not showing the nudes and deleting them immediately. I'm starting to think I've been pretty naive in this area. I've always known there were a-holes that showed private pictures to others because people suck, but I guess I never realized just how many out there were like that. I'm not trying to sound like an angel or anything, but showing off people's nude photos is an undignified, treacherous, rat idiot thing to do, so I never did it and consequently never thought about other people doing it, as bad as that sounds. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. It's really not okay, and you definitely don't have to thank me for being a creep, but I appreciate it. Property destruction is not a joke, Jim. Okie dokie, folks, and that's the end of that story. I'm sure there's the potential for many more office puns to be made about this one, so let me know in the comments. Otherwise, we're going to move on to another story. Okay, we're jumping over to Am I the A-hole? This one was written by user Bereaved Triplet, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for not telling my co-worker my brother was dead and catching her in a terrible lie? I, a 22 female, am a triplet with 2 brothers, but one of my brothers passed away when we were 14. Whenever anyone new asks if I have any siblings, I just say I'm a triplet with 2 brothers. I'm not trying to trauma dump when doing small talk with someone I'm not very close to. From talking to people in grief support, I thought this was relatively common. I started working at a new job 3 months ago. I like my co-workers but still feel like an outsider to them, so when they asked how many siblings I have, I gave the above answer. No problems there. 1 week I didn't have my car, so the other triplet brother picked me up every day. My co-worker, Kate, saw him and thought he was cute and asked me to set them up. I said no because he has a girlfriend. She asked about my other brother, and I just said he isn't available either. Not a lie, but I guess kind of omission because he's deceased and not just in a relationship. A few weeks later, I hear Kate talking crap about me to the other co-workers our age, when I'm in the same lunchroom. She didn't believe that my other brother was unavailable because she saw that he's single on Insta. I had no clue what she's talking about because he's never had an account. My best guess is that she assumed one of my male cousins, who shares our last name and is in pictures with me and my brother, was actually the third triplet. Who knows? I never engaged with the whispers because I hate confrontation. A day after that, some of my co-workers came up to me and asked what's wrong with me. I was super confused. They then told me that my brother had SA allegations against him in college, and the real reason I didn't set him up with Kate is because I knew he was dangerous but still supported him. Apparently Kate said she'd found all this out from someone who also went to my college. I'm still in the same town. I was shocked and just told them that was impossible because my brother died when he was 14. They didn't believe me and then called Kate over, and all three of them called me liar. I showed them pictures of the funeral, pictures of us at his grave, my brother and I holding his picture at our graduations. Then they all piled on me and called me a liar for not saying my brother was dead. But Kate made up horrific allegations for no reason. They are all icing me out and whispers are going around the office. I don't know what they're saying, but no one seems to understand my side. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I talked about my brother the way I always have. The girls made me feel like I was such a horrible person and a liar who can't be trusted, and I don't understand. My family is all on my side, but they're all fiercely protective of me and especially my deceased brother's memory, so it's biased. Am I the a-hole? What the hell? I mean, if it were me, I'd be making moves to get this Kate person expelled from my workplace. This is unacceptable. Let's see what the comments think. I would make a complaint with your manager or HR about Kate making false rumors about your family and forcing you to discuss your grief. Frickin' hell, even if he wasn't deceased, may he rest in peace, I'd not want Kate anywhere near me or my family. It's completely up to you and your story to explain, but maybe next time you could word it different to, he's not available, but she's definitely crazy. Opie says, thank you for that. I work at a small private medical clinic, so we don't have any formal HR, but I'm hoping our admin manager will suffice. I'll see if I can think of any alternate wording that I could use if the question comes up again. I'd report this Kate to HR, but I don't get why you're not being honest about your brother's death. It's not exposing you to any vulnerability. A properly stated sentence can save you from a lot of misunderstandings. Opie replies, in my experience, telling people he's gone off of the bat ends up opening a whole host of unwanted questions. They're well-intentioned, but sometimes it feels invasive and opens the wound all over again. I don't hide the fact. I open up to people once I feel like they're closer to me and I can trust them with my baggage, but for me it's too heavy to just drop in casual conversation when the only question is, how many siblings do you have? Other people definitely feel differently about that though. Honestly, I find it very weird and dehumanizing, I guess, because they don't care what kind of person they both are or to see them as a person. To me, they seem like their thought process goes, oh, pretty taken? Well, what about the other pretty? They're both the same, so I can just go for the other one. Opie says, yeah, that's definitely true. Not my favorite part about being a triplet, but everyone always sees us as interchangeable. I definitely found it weirder as a kid, but it happens so often it doesn't even register as strange anymore. Did your other brother, who is taken, have SA allegations against him in college, or did she just make the whole thing up? Opie says, definitely not. We went to the same college and had overlapping friends, and there's no way me or his girlfriend wouldn't know if so. His current girlfriend is the only girl he's ever had a thing with in college. God, this Kate chick must be really bored if she's making up allegations like that just for fun, I guess. I mean, there doesn't seem to be a legitimate reason for any of this. Let's go to an update. My one and only update. Skip the next 3 paragraphs if you only want the update. I just want to address the way I talk about my brother since there's so many mixed opinions. I can never ever talk about my brother like he never existed. To me, that's so disrespectful to his memory. I think you won't understand unless you're in these shoes. If you are and speak about your loved one differently, that's fine. My brothers and I did everything together. We were born and raised as a set of three. We wore matching outfits and went to the same schools. We immigrated to the US together. We celebrated every birthday and major milestone together. When he died, a part of me died too. I haven't enjoyed my birthday since because instead of being happy I'm older, I just think about how he can't celebrate his own day. No life circumstances changed the fact we were born as triplets. I could never say I have only one brother because to me that's not true. My other brother and parents speak the same way. A lot of people in my grief support group do too. No one has ever gotten upset at me and have been very understanding about it. However, people have been weird when I used to say he was dead up front, soon after his death, which is why I switched in the first place, which is why I was so stunned Kate blew up at me, but I think I might consider being more blunt. I guess someone's going to be mad or weird about it no matter how I say it. Update. So I was too chicken to talk in person to my administration manager right away after this post and all of the help. I emailed her when I left for work on Monday, and she was still there for another 2 hours, and asked me to talk in person today before clinic started. Work was definitely weird, but I just avoided Kate and those girls and got help from other stuff when needed. I talked early today to my manager after she read my email. Shared out one commenter for her template. I used most of it and just added some more identifying stuff. And she was horrified, apologized to me again and again, and told me all three would be dealt with, but seems like she was most angry at Kate. She didn't guarantee exactly anything would happen because she still has to do an investigation and get everyone's sides, but I think they'll definitely be punished some way. I don't know if that's getting fired or suspension or just scolded, but that made me happier. I think I should clarify my co-workers other than those three haven't been icing me out, just whispering because they know something happened between us, but I like them and they're very nice to me. I didn't talk to them about it since I took it up higher, but I hope they understand me. I'm not sure if I'm staying at this office, depends on what happens to the three girls in the next weeks, but I probably won't update again. I know a lot of people wanted me to take legal action, but I really don't want to rock the boat too much. I'm applying to medical school right now and hope to start in fall 2025, so I just want this behind me fast and not have any court stuff on my record for now. If it gets too bad, I'd rather just leave and enjoy my last year of freedom. That's pretty much all that happened. I wanted to thank you all so much for all of the kind words these past days. I was going through confusion and your comments made me angrier towards Kate and made me take action. You're so sweet and helped me get through a tough time. I think I'll be okay. And some final comments. I also have a brother who died, and most of the time when I speak about him, it probably sounds like he's alive to other people. It's weird to start off an anecdote with, "This one time my dead brother and I." What you've described is exactly what my sister and I both do. That's completely normal and absolutely not the a-hole for keeping private something so painful. Dude, Kate is deranged. I'm so very sorry this happened to you, and I get the not mentioning your brother died in casual conversations. I'm glad your boss is taking this seriously. Kate made up false sexual assault allegations because she couldn't bang your brother who she didn't know anything about. What a frickin' psycho. Yeah, and that pretty much sums that one up. What are your thoughts about this? Let me know down below. Maybe you got a similar story you'd like to share. I hope not, for your sake. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, we're staying with Am I the A-hole? This one was written by user Minimum Succotash, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's husband I don't want him to adopt me, and his bringing up my dead father is not winning me over? I, 16 male, have two dads. One died before I was born. Daddy. He was my non-biological father, and his best friend was my parents' surrogate. She's my Auntie Jiga. My dad is my biological parent and my daddy's widower. And yeah, I say dad and daddy, and still say daddy as a 16-year-old guy. Dad always referred to daddy as daddy to me, so I use it. A month before I was born, daddy died. My dad completely changed that day. Because of where we live, even back then, my daddy was still able to be recognized on my birth certificate. It was a fight and involved the courts, but it happened. It was really uncommon back then, but he won the case thanks to Auntie Jiga and other family members recognizing my two dads. I grew up always knowing about Daddy, and I always cherished the connection to him. I was always glad my dad won the rights for both of them to be legally my parents. I was also always treated like their son, not just dads or not dads and Auntie Jigas. When I was 4, my dad tried to date again and he met Sam. They dated for about 3 months, but Dad wasn't ready, and Sam didn't like what he saw. He felt jealous and insecure that he wasn't being brought in as another dad for me. They reconnected when I was 8 and got married when I was 12. My relationship with Sam is complicated and weird, and he wants to adopt me, but I don't want him to be my dad. I don't want to be adopted by him or to have him take care of me if I become an orphan. He's always made it a point to bring up the fact that Daddy wasn't my biological father in the first place, and how legally it was a miracle he's even on my birth certificate. I hate it. It feels so gross. He's told me at least I'll know him, while Daddy is someone who's just saintly in my mind because I wasn't allowed to process only having one parent, even though I know I was raised by one parent, but I still had 2, he just wasn't here. But I read the book he was putting together for me. He documented a lot of the parenting journey and surrogacy stuff and the pregnancy until his death. He was so excited. He loved me so much. He wanted me so badly. On Father's Day, we had a big fight over adoption. Dad was out and Sam brought up the adoption to me. He told me he's tired of feeling like an outsider because I always treat him like Dad's spouse instead of my stepdad or my parent. I told him because that's what he is and he has to learn to accept that. I told him nothing changed for me. He told me it's stupid because I love one stepdad so much more. I told him Daddy is more than just a stepdad, and then I told him I don't want him to adopt me ever, and bringing up Daddy isn't winning me over. I told him if anything, he's making me wish Dad had found someone better. Dad doesn't know what happened, but things have been tense since, and Sam said I went too far. Am I the a-hole? Let's go straight to the comments. Not the a-hole. I can't even understand how Sam could think you went too far. You basically told him to stop pressuring you to feel a way you don't feel. I do think you need to talk to your dad about this though. Make it clear that you don't want the adoption that Sam keeps bringing up, and that his pressure and trying to say your feelings for your daddy aren't important and real bothers you. If Sam wants a good relationship with you, then Sam needs to stop this, and your dad needs to be fully aware of the tactics Sam is using on you. Not the a-hole. You are entitled to your feelings, and you're not required to accept your dad's husband as a father figure. I mean, legally he is your stepdad, but if you don't feel he's a father figure for you, then he isn't. I would say bring this up with your dad in front of Sam, and then ask your dad to make Sam stop any talk about this stuff in the future. Opie responds to some comments. My dad would be on my side here. He never wanted Sam to take the place of my second dad or parent. He was always just a partner for him. I'm also not denying myself love. Sam is denying it by making it him versus Daddy. He's tried to compete since I was 4 when he and Dad had a short thing. One commenter adds, you need to talk to your dad and tell him everything. Does your dad know what Sam is doing? Sam has no right to trying to raise your daddy regardless if you met him or not. He still is and always will be your daddy. You're not the a-hole. Sam, however, is an a-hole. Opie says, Dad doesn't know. I always knew this would be the end of their marriage if he knew. I want my dad to be happy, so I kept quiet. But I guess that's not such a great idea anymore, especially if it comes out in a more explosive way eventually. On Aunt Giga. She was the surrogate, but my dads were my parents on my birth certificate. And what would happen to OP if Dad passed? I would be with family if something happened to my dad, not Sam. OP adds 4 hours later. I'm going to tell him today. I texted him and asked if we could talk, and he's going to leave work early so we can. He can leave early some days. Alright folks, let's see what happens. On to an update the next day. I told Dad everything. He brought me out to get ice cream and we just talked for like 4 hours about everything that happened. My dad was so upset. He had no idea Sam had ever mentioned adoption to me. Sam never mentioned that he wanted to go that far. We both ended up crying because Dad felt so guilty, and I felt awful hurting my dad. All I ever wanted was for him to be really happy. He got really mad when I told him what Sam said about Daddy being just a stepfather. My dad isn't a guy who gets mad, so to see him that way was surprising, but also not really because he still loves Daddy so much. I ended up spending the night at my best friend's house, and I'm still here. He said he needed to take care of things without me there, and he'd pick me up later today. He sent me a text late last night that said Sam won't be at the house when we get back home, and he apologized again. He apologized a lot yesterday. Also, Sam sent me an angry text at some point, and I blocked his number. I figure I don't need to have it anymore. Yeah, and good riddance, I say. He had no right to do what he did. Anyway, that's the end of that story. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Anyway guys, that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.